That movie you're making, it needs great sound. Our guest today, Rick Viers, author of the Location Sound Bible and the Sound Effects Bible, is going to offer you 4 great tips on how to capture that all-important sound.
This episode is brought to you by GlideCam Stabilizers. A GlideCam on your production means smooth, flowing shots with easy operation. Go to glidecam.com to find out more.
Thanks for having me.
All right, let's hear some pointers on that filmmakers can use on set.
Well, I'll tell you, the biggest problem that most independent films have is sound. Almost always the sound is secondary to picture, which is kind of funny because in reality, audiences are more likely to accept grainy pictures, slightly out of focus shots, or shots that didn't rack focus fast enough. They're willing to forgive that if it sounds believable. But the picture can look amazing, but if it doesn't sound good, then they're like, it wasn't a very good movie. So what I do is I tell people, my mission is to tell people that don't know anything about sound, easy steps on how they can get great sound. And those that are actually, they want to do sound full time, I want to give them as much ammo and information as I can to make their products or their productions rather sound better. So I start off by telling everybody these 3 simple things. The key to great location sound is to get the right mic in the right place at the right time and at the right level. And obviously I can't count because that's 4, but yeah, I meant to say 4. Those 4 steps. Get the right mic in the right place at the right time and at the right level. And we can just kind of walk through these simple steps, but the right mic, what mic are you using? Hopefully not the mic that comes on the camera. That is many people's default go-to microphones. Hey, there's a microphone on the camera. How convenient. All I got to do is point and shoot. And don't get me wrong, there's things that we use in my video diaries on YouTube channel that come right off the camera mic. Camera mics are lifesavers. They're great backups, safety nets, but they're not really intended to record dialogue for an independent film. That said, if you're an independent filmmaker and that's all you've got to work with, start there. There's nothing wrong with starting with what you got. But if you can, let's take that microphone, let's take the microphone off the camera, stick it on a boom pole or a broomstick, whatever you've got. Let's get that microphone close to the actor as possible. So the right mics, let's talk about the right mics. Outdoors, shotgun microphones. These are your friends. A shotgun microphone, the way it works is it's essentially a long tube, and it's designed to eliminate sounds that are coming from the sides and some of the back. So in other words, it kind of just like clears all that noise and just kind of focuses on what's directly in front of it. Lavalier microphones are great to have as well, especially when you've got wide shots or things where you can't really get the boom where you want it to be. Obviously, the catch with using lav mics is, especially for cinema or storytelling, is you don't want to see it. When you're doing interviews or a live television show or whatever, people don't care that they see the lav; they kind of expect it. But when you're telling a story, the last thing they want to see is the lav on the actor. So you have to hide the lav, and that's where you get into a little bit of problems, because the first thing you're going to run into is clothing noise. You're going to get rustling sounds up against the lavs. And there's some tricks that you can use to kind of eliminate those rubbing sounds. And if you read the Location Sound Bible, which is one of my books, I've got a whole bunch of little tricks and things that you can do to kind of get the mic where it needs to be and protect it from clothing or other things that might rub against the mic. And then sometimes indoors as well, you can use a cardioid or a hypercardioid microphone. Those work as well. I tend to use those more indoors, and then shotgun microphones more outdoors. But people tell me, hey, I don't have a budget for a bunch of different mics. What's the one mic I need? You need a shotgun mic. If you're shooting for dialogue for a story or whatever, you need a shotgun mic. If you can afford more, then buy more, and you can have specialty mics for certain situations. But in general, a shotgun is going to be your workhorse. It'll allow you to work outside as well as inside, and it'll kind of eliminate the background noise. So that was number 1. Get the right mic. Now let's talk about the right place. Where is the right place? This is a general statement, but in general, as close as humanly possible without being in the frame. Obviously, you're not going to want it to have it, an inch from the person's mouth. But typically, the edge of the frame is where it needs to live. When you have wider shots, like I said, you might want to go with a longer shotgun if you can afford one, or you might have to go with lavs or even what we call plant mics. And what a plant mic is just a mic, any type of mic. Could be a lavalier, shotgun mic, cardioid, whatever. Any mic that is planted on the set to get the microphone closer to the actor. So, for example, let's say we're shooting a shot through a bedroom door. You're standing at the bedroom door looking at camera talking, and then on the bed in the background somebody's talking to you. Well, the microphone will easily reach the person that is closest to camera, but now we got somebody way in the distance that's having a conversation. How do we get a mic next to that person? So we would do whatever we could. If there's pillows or something on the bed, maybe we can hide a mic by that, by their lap or something, near the pillows, or if there's something else in the room that we can plant the mic next to or underneath or beside, so that we get the mic close to the talent. So right mic, right place. Shotgun microphones eliminate sounds that come from the side and from the back. So believe it or not, moving the mic sometimes just a few inches in a certain direction will help eliminate background noise. So what I do is I put my headphones on, I grab a microphone, I get it where I want it to be, and once I've got where I think it's it's going to sound the best, then I move it a few times just to see if I put it here, do I hear less of the background noise? So I just kind of play with it until I'm like, okay, that's my sweet spot. Can I make this work? So recording sound is relatively easy because essentially you just point the mic at something and press the red button. In general, it's kind of that easy. The problems that you're going to run into is background noise, things that you can't control, distant traffic, people moving around, doors opening and closing. So you're gonna have to deal with those issues. But when you're working with camera, now you can't put the microphone where you want it to be. You have to base mic placement off of what the shot is. So that's why I default to, they say, where do I put the mic? As close as you can without being in the frame. So that's kind of the rule of thumb. There's always reasons to break that rule, but in general, that's your rule of thumb. So right mic in the right place at the right time, and timing is more for cueing. So especially if you've got multiple actors talking, there's a rhythm and a flow to the dialogue in a scene. A good boom operator is paying attention during rehearsals. They're asking for a script so they can memorize the last word or two in a line of dialogue so that they know, okay, this guy's, actor one is finished. He's getting ready to go to actor two. I need to be ready to swing my pole and get the mic over so that I'm not missing any of the words coming out of the person's mouth. So it's great to get it there, but if you get it there late and you've missed the first couple of words, now you've got a problem because that audio doesn't work. There are a host of other, scenarios in which cueing becomes an issue. An actor stands up from a table or moves around the set where you can't have the boom, but you got to wait for them to get into position to move the boom. But you got to be able to time that out so that you don't miss the dialogue. So right mic, right place, right time, and at the right level. So what's the right level? In general, as hot as you can make it without distorting. You certainly don't want to have your levels too low, because then when the editor goes to, or the sound mixer goes to raise those levels up, you're going to introduce system noise from the microphone or whatever. So you want to try to get it as loud as you can. Once you've got a good level, you want to stay consistent with that level throughout the entire scene. So, if you shoot it, 4 or 5 shots in one location for one scene, and you're, topping out at like minus 12 dB, but then you go to another shot and you've got the ability to really crank it up, don't. Keep it all consistent. Your editor will thank you for it because that's less monkeying they have to do with the levels.
Great information, Rick. If somebody has questions for you, can they contact you directly?
Absolutely. I can be reached at rickviers.com, RICVIERS.com. There's a contact page. You just send me a message right there.
Rick, thank you so much. Great information, and I look forward to talking to you again.
My pleasure.
The versatile, lightweight GlideCam stabilizer. A GlideCam on your production means smooth, flowing video with easy operation. GlideCam, the name and future of camera stabilizers.